Okay, hello, we are back at it. This time talking about le futur. So this is different from le futur proche that we talked about already, because le futur proche is for things that are going to happen, and this is for things that will happen. Okay, so to kind of make a distinction there, if I said like my aunt is going to have a baby, for example, if I said that in the future proche, using the future proche, to me that would be like, so she's already pregnant and the baby is due sometime in the next 9 months. Like that's a pretty certain thing that's going to happen. But if I used the future to say my aunt will have a baby, my aunt's going to have a baby, that to me, if I'm using the future tense, probably means like she's not necessarily pregnant yet, but she will have a baby someday, like she plans to do that. Okay, so that's kind of the difference. In English, le futur, which is oftentimes just called le futur simple, if you see this in other things, the simple future, is just that. It's a simple tense, whereas in English, it's a compound tense. So when it's in English, it's I will do something, okay? Whereas in French, so you need two words in English, whereas in French, you just need one. It is a simple tense, okay? The formation of this, because it's just one word, unlike in English, so there is no word will in French, by the way, it's built into the verb, okay? So the formation of this is actually pretty simple. Future simple, it's pretty simple. For the most part, you're just going to take the infinitive form of the verb, okay, minus the letter E if there was one, okay, and then the endings that you're going to use for every single future verb, okay, it will never change. The endings for every single verb, just like imparfait, the endings never changed. With future, the endings will never change. So those endings, the AI, the AS, the A, you'll notice that these, for the most part, and hopefully this rings a bell, I know it's been a while since we've looked at it, these are pretty much the verb avoir. Stop doing that. The only thing that's different between this and the verb avoir is there would normally be an AV right here, and there would normally be an AV right here. Otherwise, that's the verb avoir, right? So all the endings are that. I mentioned it had to drop off an E if there was one, and that's because there has to be a letter R before you put these endings, okay? If you don't see an R here, and R here, and R here, you're not doing it right, okay? There has to be a letter R before all of these, okay? So let's do, for example, just like a regular verb. So let's take the verb chanter, for example. I think that's the one I used with future proche. Okay, so if I want to say I will sing, in English you're doing will with the word sing. In French, you're putting it all together in one word. And I'm making hand gestures and I keep forgetting you can't see me, which is really sad because I'm having a good hair day and this is a cute shirt, but that's okay. So I'm going to use the infinitive. So I'm going to use chanter. And then I'm going to double check. Yep, there's an R there, so we're good. And then I'm going to add on this infinitive, I'm going to add on this avoir ending. So je chanterai is I will sing. Okay, I would do the same thing with you will sing. I'm going to take chanter by itself, the infinitive, and add on the AS. So tu chanteras. Okay, he will sing, chanter, and then add the A, il chantera. Okay, and so on and so forth. Nous chanterons, etc. So that seems pretty simple. What if we had one that had an E on it? Okay, like vendre, the verb to sell. So like, probably sometime in the future, I will sell my car and get a different one. So I will sell, okay? So I've got the infinitive, double check that there's an R. Oh no, there isn't one. So I'm gonna have to lop off this E. So the last letter before the ending is the letter R, okay? If there's not an R there, you did something wrong, okay? So je vendrai, I will sell. Again, the will is built into there. Tu vendras, il vendra, etc. Okay, so that is pretty straightforward for all of the regular verbs. Okay, the problem is there's also some irregulars, just like there were with passé composé, and you do need to know them. Okay, And I say that except for I'm going to try to do these from memory myself, and we'll see how it goes. It's been a long time since I just sat down and did this. Okay, so these you need to know. The bad news is you have to have them memorized. The good news is they're the same all 6 times. So just because it was wonky, at least you're going to use it all 6 times. And you're also going to use them not just for the futur simple, but we'll use them for le conditionnel as well. Okay? So you need to know that avoir becomes AUR. Okay? You need to know that. Avoir becomes AUR in the future. But that means j'aurai, tu auras, il aura. Like I'm going to keep using it, the AUR for all 6 times. And the endings stay the same too. I forgot to mention that. So you will not ever change the endings. So I will have, you will have, he will have, nous aurons, we will have, etc. Okay. You need to know that être becomes SCR. There's an old song that que sera, sera, whatever will be. I don't know if you've heard that song, but that might help you to remember if you had. So you have to know that it's SCR. Notice that they're all going to come with R's already. So if you did the irregular right, there'll be an R in it before the ending, and it's all good. You need to know that faire becomes FER. And you need to know that ale becomes IR, which I'm pretty sure is actually also the Spanish word for go. Okay, but I don't know. It's been a long time since I took Spanish. Okay, so again, just because you had to remember that ale becomes IR, you do get to use that all 6 times. So I will go, j'irai, you will go, tu iras, he will go, il ira, etc., etc. Okay. I've kind of grouped these together because these are your 4 most important. So if you're not going to know anything else, please at least know those. Okay. But you might have to do something in the future. So DEVR. Okay. I think that's funny because my husband's name is Devron, so it's almost my husband's name. Ooh, especially like if you went the whole DEVR and then added ONT. I mean, that's just like 1 letter away from my husband's name. So anyway. Okay. Pouvoir. This is actually a double R, if I remember correctly. I'll let you know if that's not right, but I'm pretty sure that's POURR. So like I will be able to do that for you. So je pourrai do whatever it is you need me to do. Vouloir is a VODUR. Okay, you just have to know these. Okay, so I would like this to happen. Je voudrais that you know these. I would like for that to happen. If it had, these are in a weird order. If it had something weird about it back here in the present tense, so like the YER became I, if it had something weird about it in the present tense, that weird thing becomes the future root. So ENVOIER is going to be the future, stop doing that, is going to be the future root of that one. Okay. Recevoir, RECVR. Okay, RECVR. Savoir, oh my gosh, SAUR. It has been a long time since I have looked at these. If I find some of these to be incorrect, I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure it's right. Viendr, VIENDR. Okay, so that's going to be the same for like devenir, deviendre. That's going to be your root there. Those are hard to say without an ending on it. So like he will become president someday. Il deviendra président. Voir is VERR. That's a double R as well. I know that one's right because on verra is one of my favorite things to say to my children. Okay, hey, can we do this? On verra, we'll see. Hey, can so-and-so come over next week? On verra, we'll see. Okay, it's a parent great answer. On verra, we'll see. Courir, I'm pretty sure that's another double R, COURR. Mourir, I think that's a double R as well. Il y a, that's not really irregular, but just it's good to know that il y a, there is or there are, becomes il y aura, which is now there will be in the future. Il pleut is it's raining. Il pleuvra is it will rain. Again, you can't change these because that's a fixed expression. That's a fixed expression. Il neige is not irregular at all. Like neiger is the verb to snow. So il neigera, it will snow. Okay. Hey, I heard next winter it will snow a lot. Okay, in the future. Il faut, great phrase to know. It means it's necessary. You've got to, you must, it's got to be done. Il faut. It's from the verb falloir, by the way. The verb, to be necessary. But il faut is it's necessary, so il faudra, it will be necessary. Again, because it's being used as it and not he, it can only exist in that impersonal il form. Jeter, the verb to throw, is the same idea as this. If there was something weird in the L shape, or there was something weird in the L shape before, that becomes the future root. So like jeter, it would have been a double T, so that then becomes, stop doing that. So that becomes the future root. You know what? Oh no, it's down here. I was going to do that in a minute. Okay. Acheter is the verb to buy. And you might remember that something weird about that is it got an accent grave in the L shape, like normally. So now it gets an accent grave as the future root. Payer, like you will pay for this. That's just a Y-E-R. So now it's an I. Stop doing that. Okay. Appeler, the verb to call. That's one of those that gets the double L in the L shape. So that double L becomes the future root. And you know that because appeler is to call, but s'appeler is to be called, like to be named. So that's where like the je m'appelle comes from. And I'm so sorry because normally it only has one L, okay? But the L gets doubled in the L shape, which is why it's je m'appelle, tu t'appelles. So in the future root, it gets a double L, okay? There's another Y-E-R. So again, the future root would then be I-E-R. Stop changing that. And then obtenir is the verb to get, like to obtain. So like I will get something, you will get something, he will get something. It's just a weird one. Obtiendre. Okay. So you can verify that all of these already come with and are built into them. And so that's cool. You have that letter R before you put on the avoir endings. Okay. You can make these negative. Something will not happen just by putting a ne pas around it. So je chanterai, je ne chanterai pas. I will not sing. Okay, je ne chanterai pas. There's only one verb there, so that was pretty easy. Okay, I'm almost out of time on this video, so hopefully that makes sense for le futur. Okay, merci, au revoir.